Jai Hind, this is Brigadier Hemant Mahajan. We'll carry out a review of all important activities that took place around India and all over the world that has an impact on India's national security. This can be divided into few parts. First is India's internal security, then India's external security, India's energy security, water security, and so on and so forth. Let us talk about firstly various activities that took place. The most important activities in that line, China is carrying out a global media offensive against the whole world, and India is a part of it. What China has done that it has acquired both traditional media as well as innovative communication technologies by which it is got a major share of the world global TV networks, global electronic networks, global, let's say, print media, etc. And to this, add innovative measures like 5G network, underground cable, etc. Plus, they have a lot of popular social media platforms like TikTok and WeChat. So this ensures that China is able to have a real control over various segments of the world media. So therefore, what we have to do, especially in India, is to ensure that Chinese platforms like TikTok, WeChat are banned here, which in any case are. Plus, China is not allowed any entry into our electronic media. Plus, China is not allowed any entry in our print media. This is what we have to ensure. The next issue is the shipping lanes. Uh, world's 90-95% of trade takes place by the shipping lanes. Now, what is happening is today, big ships which are manufactured, earlier they used to be manufactured in Korea and Japan and China, etc. Now China has a major share in manufacturing ships are concerned. So therefore, anybody and everybody wants to buy ship from China. So what it really means is when they buy a ship from China, of course, afterwards they are dependent on China for its repair and maintenance. Also, China does keeps a lot of bugs inside the ships by which it is able to monitor as to what exactly is the ship doing, etc. So therefore, world is now worried, and many European countries are trying to now rebuild their shipyards. Unfortunately, it requires a lot of effort, it requires a lot of investment, and it is not going to be easy. As far as India is concerned, we have to ensure that our shipbuilding industry take, comes up in a big way and we are able to maintain all our ships ourselves. The next issue is China is known for wolf warrior diplomacy. China is very proactive as far as South China Sea is concerned. So Chinese offensive behavior has definitely created a problem for itself because Southeast Asian countries they know that China is not trustworthy. Similarly, Australia knows China is not trustworthy. The next point is about China's overseas ports acquisition. Now, what is happening is since China dominates the export and the import market, so therefore China is acquiring ports all over. Now, while this is good from their point of view, but it is not very good from the point of view of the rest of the world, including India, because these ports can act as military bases which will be used for surveillance and maybe it will be closed when required when a geostrategic event of an important takes place, a war or a near war. Next issue is China's atrocities which they are carrying out against the Uyghur Muslims who are nearly 2 crore in strength in China's province of Xinjiang. Now, Ramadan is there. Ramadan fast is observed by the Muslims all over the world, wherever they are. But the Chinese Uyghur Muslims are not allowed to fast as far as Ramadan is concerned. China's crimes against the Uyghur Muslims and the other minority groups are very well known. The world, everybody knows it, including the Muslim countries and the Arab countries. But they just don't have guts to tell China that they should stop carrying out human rights violations in China because China's money bags has almost purchased them. So while China keeps on putting people in reformatories, keeps on carrying out genocide, keeps on carrying out crimes against humanity, but nobody in the world has the guts to tell China that it should stop human rights violations of the Uyghur Muslims as well as the Tibetans as well as the Mongolians. The next issue is China is trying to come out of the clutches of USA by wanting to use its currency, which is called as the RMB, which will be used for carrying out trade between China and the rest of the world. I'm sure everybody is aware that dollar today is a currency which is globally accepted. Now China wants to use its own currency. For example, trade between China and Saudi Arabia, they are going to use the RMB currency. So this use of RMB currency instead of dollars will obviously reduce China's dependence on dollars, will also ensure that China's currency becomes stronger. But for China to replace dollar out of its trade is going to take a lot of time. For example, even India is trying to use Indian rupee wherever it's a bilateral trade is there, and nearly 18 countries have accepted the use of rupee. But for rupee to replace a large part of the dollar trade is taking time, and this is exactly what is going to happen in China. As far as India is concerned, it should also insist that its trade with rest of the world should be carried out in rupees. Now, next issue is China is busy building a spy-based station in the Coco Islands in the Andaman and Nicobar Sea, or also called as the Bay of Bengal. Now, Coco Islands are next to the Indian chain of islands of Andaman and Nicobar, especially the North Andaman Island. Now, there are satellite reports which show that a military base possibly is coming there. Some other facilities are coming there which were not there earlier. So, if China is able to build a surveillance facility here, obviously it's a security threat as far as India is concerned because it will be able to keep a good watch on the Andaman Nicobar Islands of India and thereby create opening up one more front. So India has already spoken to Myanmar, but Myanmar claims that this is not being done, but Myanmar is not to be trusted. The next issue is the Prime Minister of Taiwan was on a visit to USA, and to threaten her, China sent its carrier groups in the in the Taiwan Strait. The Chinese aircraft, nearly 50, 60 in strength, kept on coming into the flying no flying zone of Taiwan. The Chinese ships had surrounded the Taiwanese island from all the sides. So basically, the Chinese were rehearsing some kind of a rehearsal as to how would they carry out an amphibious assault as far as Taiwan is concerned. But that did not stop the Taiwanese Prime Minister from going to a visit to USA. China carried out a lot of threatening moves, but it was not able to stop the movement of the Taiwanese president. So there are two lessons here. First lesson is that if you stand strongly, China then goes away. But if you get scared, then China will scare you further. The Taiwanese president has also complimented its fighter pilots because the fighter pilots kept on chasing the Chinese planes. So she says they have done a very good job. The next issue is let's compare two cooperation organizations. One is Quad, which stands in which India, USA, Japan, and Australia is there, and second is called AUKUS, in which Australia, United Kingdom, and USA is there. Now, if you compare as to how these have performed up till now since their formation, it is seen that the AUKUS has done a much better job. Their building of submarines for Australia, the work has already started. They are more active, while Quad has been a talking shop. Now, only talking is not adequate. In fact, only talking leads to conclusion that these people are talking and they don't have the capacity to act physically. So what God has to do is learn lesson from AUKUS and start acting rather than only talking. The next issue is about the debt diplomacy. There are many countries which are indebted because of China. Now, as far as Sri Lanka was concerned, led by India and Western countries and financial chiefs from other rest of the world, they got together to reschedule the loan of Sri Lanka so that they don't go in for default. This was a very good step taken by USA, and this is definitely help Sri Lanka. And similarly, this is definitely going to help few other countries also. Now, as far as Vietnam is concerned, a leading high-ranking delegation from Vietnam is visiting New Delhi at the invitation of our country because Vietnam is worried about China's very aggressive activities near them. So they definitely want India as a friend, and therefore they are trying to cooperate India as far as intelligence cooperation is concerned, as far as military cooperation is concerned, etc. The next issue is Pakistan. Pakistan's Defense Minister Khwaja Asif has warned the Afghani Taliban that Pakistan will carry out a cross-border strike against the terrorist hideouts which are there in Afghanistan. Everybody knows that there is a terror organization called the TTP, standing for Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which has bases in Afghanistan, and from there they keep on carrying out attacks inside Pakistan, especially on the police and the security forces. So Pakistan has suffered a lot of casualty. When Taliban came into power, Pakistan thought that this will act as a strategic depth as far as Pakistan is concerned. And Pakistan was very happy, and the victory of Taliban in Afghanistan was taken as equivalent to India's victory in the 1971 war when Pakistan was broken into two parts. Now, the Afghanistan, instead of being friendly to Pakistan, is creating a problem, and especially the TTP says that the Northwest Frontier Province and the federally administered tribal area of Pakistan are they should become a part of Afghanistan because people living there are Pathans or Pashtuns or Pakhtuns. So therefore, last year in 2022, there were 262 terror attacks as far as Pakistan is concerned. So therefore, Pakistan is now worried. Afghanistan, instead of being an asset, is creating a problem, and a lot of Pakistani army now is deployed in Afghanistan. And the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan is using all the weapons which had been left behind by USA when the USA forces ran away from Afghanistan. So Pakistan is in deep trouble as far as the Pakistan-Afghanistan border is concerned. Next issue pertains to internal problems in Pakistan. Pakistani army chief is very unhappy with Imran Khan. Imran Khan has been able to divide the Pakistani army. There are some elements there which support uh, the Imran Khan. So Pakistan today is in deep turmoil. The institutions are busy fighting with each other. The Pakistani army is divided. So which is a quite a good news from the point of view of India. But does it mean that Pakistan will stop its terror activities in India? The short answer is no. Pakistan will still continue to carry out terror activities in India. Now, just one or two points in a short while. Uh, there was an attack at Bhatinda military station in which four Indian soldiers were killed by some masked people. The mystery is yet to be resolved. Then there's a group captain of the Indian Air Force who was dismissed by a court martial because by mistake they fired a missile which resulted into shooting down of an Mi-17 chopper in which some people were killed. Next issue is that the chief of Defense Staff of the CDS, General Chauhan, has said that possibility of war in the space cannot be ruled out because China is building up weapons which can shoot down the satellites. Next issue is about India building border villages next to the border of Arunachal Pradesh. One such village in Kibitu, which is in the Lohit Valley of Arunachal Pradesh, was inaugurated by Shri Amit Shah, the Home Minister of India. And thereafter, there he warned China that watch out, not even 1 inch of land India will ever surrender as far as Pakistan is concerned. The next issue is that one ITB officer was killed in an accident when carrying out patrolling in the high mountains of Himalayas. He fell down and he was martyred because of the weather there. Now, and the last issue which I would like to talk about today, that is the exercise which is going on between India and Sri Lanka, and also Make in India progress is now improving. There's a chip which is being fitted into the mobile phone, etc., which has been developed by the Indian companies. IIT Kanpur is also partnering defense PSUs to focus on innovation. Uh, as far as energy security is concerned, India has been able to navigate the path very, very well, and therefore the oil prices in India have been stable. And the last issue is with regard to the Ukraine war. The Ukraine war is still going on, and it is one thing which is really changed here is uh, NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which was the brain dead organization, is now being revived because of aggressive posture by Russia. I think I'll stop here. Thank you and Jai Hind.